What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Warboy Podcast. It is episode 242. The NFL Top 100 list is slowly rolling out. We have breaking news of a new training regimen installed at the Cleveland Browns mini camp, and Slim Shady is now an NFL quarterback. I'm not sure if you saw, but we now have Slim Shady in the league. Quick,
Ratchet.
Not an ad, but a quick shout out to the Sleeper app. Joe Burrow's profile picture is now Slim Shady Eminem.
Yeah. I will say,
quick little shout outs.
The dynamic from going from Anakin Skywalker to Slim Shady this year would not have been a path I would have expeced to be.
Now, real quick, fingers up. That Anakin Skywalker.
It was an AI picture.
Super fake. And when we first addressed it on the podcast, we were both sitting there like, that looks eerily similar to Hayden Christensen's hair in Revenge of the Sith, but we're just gonna go with it.
We're gonna go with it. Yeah, we just went with
it. We were wrong. Finger up, but he's now Slim Shady. That is real. Okay.
Still the pictures going from one to another is still not a topic I thought I would have talked about.
Yeah, whether you consider it Slim Shady or more Jonah Hill Slim Shady at the start of 21 Jump Street, pick your poison. Burrow is giving off that look right now.
If he had braces, it would be Jonah Hill Slim Shady.
Oh, yeah. I will just say real quick, as an Ohio State fan who first learned of Joe Burrow through his Instagram account and that he was pretty funny on there, look up like junior, senior year Burrow in high school.
You're talking about the Cavs
jersey? Bit of the slip.
No, I know
a little bit
about,
that era though. Yes,
I know what you're talking.
I think
about.
A little bit before that picture was taken of him in the Cavs jersey, he had a little bit of the Slim Shady going on back then. So we'll see what this magic does for him.
We might need to go stat check how he did that year. That might be important for us.
Yeah, we could take a dive of it. It is high school.
But it's the last time Slim Shady came out to play, so that that's kind of important.
I'll just take a quick gander at Joe Burrow's Athens, Ohio.
Well, here, let me ask you this though.
Hey, his last year. Okay, no, I think we can work with this.
Okay.
His very last year, these numbers are quite off, but according to Max Preps, he threw 63 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, had 4,500 yards.
So
last year.
Burrow MVP season.
That's what Slim Shady is telling us.
Exactly what Slim Shady says.
When it comes to our NFL picks, at what point of the year do we start hitting the 50-50s? When we go off vibes.
Yeah.
When we go off vibes, that's when we start hitting those picks. So vibes pick, if you want a vibes MVP future, Joe Burrow. I'm just thinking real quick. I this off the top of my head, and help me out here because I'm probably forgetting. It's definitely going to be Aaron Rodgers, but like Joe Burrow, comeback player of the year, any shot at that? Like, does Aaron Rodgers have to get injured again next year for Burrow to win that? Like, if Aaron Rodgers just plays, he wins.
Burrow's thing was just a wrist injury. That's the problem.
How long was he? I just remember he was just.
He was like week 3 or something. He was like, I'm done. Yeah. He like came back, then was back out, then he came back and was put on a season-ending injury. Like, I feel like Aaron Rodgers is probably the lock for it, considering he took 2 snaps and then blew out his Achilles.
Yeah, if Aaron Rodgers just gets through 6 games.
However, if Jameis Winston comes in to start playing for the Browns and then throws another 50 touchdowns, it might be Jameis Winston.
Okay. Now that's an answer that I'm looking for.
You always have to think about the random players that just have sucked and might somehow come and start playing and play well.
If Dak wins a playoff game next year, he could become a 2-time comeback player of the year. These are the narratives we have to think of. Comeback player of the year is the ultimate narrative award. The ultimate
Nick Chubb would really be the other candidate.
Now, you see, we're talking. Nick Chubb is very, very high up there.
Yeah, I'm trying
if
to
Chubb
think.
puts up 1,000 yards next year.
He
got a strong claim to that title.
I'm just trying to think of who else was big injury guys that would come back. I mean, Sam Darnold is in the running if he starts the whole season.
Okay. Yeah, I'm considering just his whole career. Yes.
Yeah. He considering the situation there.
Daniel Jones, if named starter and comes back and balls out, now super the odds are so minuscule. I understand.
I think
there is a route.
I couldn't tell you if that's a Giants fan wet dream or if it's their biggest nightmare. I think I'm leaning towards biggest nightmare.
Yeah, no, you do not want you do not want Danny Dimes to win that. That would not be great for the future of the franchise.
That might destroy everything, actually.
Yeah, I'm trying to like think of some. Could Kirk get it because he missed a little over half the year?
Yeah, Kirk could. Kirk's in contention. Kirk's definitely in contention. I think I don't necessarily know if they're going to view him much differently. Like, I don't know if they're going to give him or Aaron Rodgers like favoritism over Kirk. I think that if you just have missed a substantial amount of time to injury, you're like kind of all on the same playing field. Clearly, I mean, Joe Flacco won over Damar Hamlin last year, so there is some form of regulations going on.
Yeah, I would also say
now if Damar Hamlin
Flacco won last year, he is ineligible this year.
No,
there's no comeback. Yes. He was so good last year, there is no comeback.
But if Damar Hamlin converted that 4th and 3 fake punt, well, then he would have won it.
I think it was like a 4th and 7. I don't think it was. I think it was a 4th and long.
No, it was like that's what made it more questionable was the fact that it was so long.
And he just called direct snap run. I was like, what the hell am I
Damar
watching
Hamlin
right now?
Of all people.
No, literally, they treated it like it was Rudy the movie. It was like, what is going on?
I didn't realize we're watching a Disney Channel exclusive.
This is a football game, guys. This is not a.
It reminds me of, you know, with High School Musical. You ever see the videos of people? It's like you're a fan of the opposing team and you're watching them play the High School Musical Wildcats or whatever, and they just stop mid game, start singing,
dancing, and you're just like, what am I?
Like, yeah, what is going on? Ref, that's a out of town. Ref, he is traveling.
Yeah, no, you're the opposing team's uncle. You're in town just for this game. You come to check out, and you just look over to your brother, and you're just like, what the hell goes on?
What is happening here?
Like, what is this, the drama club? What am I watching right now? But yeah, Slim Shady Burrow, everyone. Yeah, absolute amazing stuff going on with him.
I hope that he collabs with Eminem. That's all I could ever ask for.
Yeah, I know
Slim Shady is technically
Jared
dead
Goff
now,
could really one up Burrow quite easily because he already kind of has the blonde hair and he's in Detroit. He could really one up him right now. But I don't see Goff doing that. I think Goff
I think he likes his hair a lot. I think he's
I don't think Goff's going buzz personally. Don't see that in his future.
Could you imagine that? Though?
I don't think he's a buzz guy. But I do respect buzz guys. A buzz quarterback means business.
I'm just saying, what was the last buzz quarterback I'm thinking of might actually be
Hurts.
Brady. No. Well, Hurts buzzed before he entered the
essentially
league,
his hair. Well, he used to rap the long
I'm thinking like in the league had hair then buzzed. It might be Brady. The last starting quarterback. Let me clarify that.
Yes.
It might be Brady.
Could it be Andrew Luck? Yes, Luck.
Did he have long hair?
At Stanford.
Now,
he may have done it before he even took a snap in the NFL, which I'll take off the list. But like, I remember Luck buzz cut. He had a weird hair shape.
For the sake of this part of the video, right? The last quarterback to do it was Tom Brady. So going from hair to buzz cut, I think that was like an MVP season. So second reason of why Burrow MVP season.
Now, you know, this could be a message. Well, Herbert's never buzzed, but he's short.
He is buzzed. He buzzed.
Yeah, he did. Trevor Lawrence.
So Herbert would be the last.
Trevor Lawrence, if you want to make a statement,
yeah, you buzz.
You buzz off Blonde Jesus and you become Trevor Lawrence. You become T-Law the killer. You become the second coming of Peyton Manning, like I've been hearing my whole life. T-Law, I'm calling you out right now. He's got $250 million. T-Law.
It is interesting to me. Look, he's 5 years into the year into.
He's been in the NFL.
Which, by the way, that's crazy. It's been 5 years since he got drafted.
Crazy,
wild,
right? Like I feel like I remember that Clemson like it was yesterday.
No, literally. But like to this point, you'd be like, you would have thought like he would have cut his hair by now. Like I would have thought that he would have cut his hair by now.
Or something different. Maybe a little bit shorter. I just thought you would have done something.
The day Trevor Lawrence cuts his hair, it might be in 10 years. He might be a 34-year-old quarterback. But the day that happens will be the weirdest feeling day in the NFL relating to just player appearance in a very long time.
Yeah, I'm just taking just a quick. I'm just going team by looking just at a list of teams. Who else is a buzz candidate, and watch out what they'll become post buzz. Other Mahomes. God forbid Mahomes ever buzzes his hair, then it's officially over. No, I don't even want to put that out there knowing what could happen. Actually, now that I think of a bad quarterback with a buzz, Derek Carr. I guess that really goes against
that is his haircut,
here.
though.
Yes, that is another thing.
He was better with the buzz than with the little fro he's got.
Yeah, that's just how he is. Yeah, good point. Okay, good point. I'm
sure. Yeah, I mean, Aaron Rodgers he's never buzzed, but he's cut it short.
Could I ever see CJ with the buzz? No. And I don't.
What about Kyler?
I don't think CJ needs it. That
Kyler with a buzz?
Scary. Because that also implies he's done with video games. It also implies that. Now, I'm not sure when that day will come, but Kyler buzzing his hair, that implies done with video games, right?
Now, if that, probably.
Yeah.
Or he's just getting it's a little bit better for the
Why would you buzz your hair if you're going to keep on playing video games?
Because he doesn't want the little headset then. He just wants it straight in there.
Ooh, yeah. He doesn't want to get exposed if he keeps showing up to practice every morning with headset hair. A little obvious giveaway.
If Sam Howell ended up starting for the Seahawks and he got a little buzz action.
Potentially.
Caleb Williams already hit the buzz.
Jaden Daniels, you should buzz it right now. You should buzz it right now.
Go into the league with.
I think it'll help a lot. JD, buzz it today, right now.
What about Daniel Jones with the buzzer?
That
might be the worst.
Daniel Jones is an example of a guy who gets a buzz cut and then loses all confidence. He for 99% of quarterbacks in the NFL, if they buzz their head, I think that would boost their confidence because they're officially like, I do not care at all what I look like. I'm purely about football. Daniel Jones will buzz his hair, read one tweet from an account with 6 followers and no profile picture, and then become self-conscious. That's what would happen. Am I wrong? You guys know I'm not. So that's what would happen there with Danny
Josh Allen.
Doesn't need it.
He's already got the moxie.
Doesn't need it. Yeah. Doesn't need it. Now, it'd be great for the city of Buffalo. Like, it would send a message. And I bet you if Bills Mafia would certainly get behind it.
If Josh Allen buzzed his hair, then every person in Buffalo would then go buzz their hair.
Yeah, yes. Oh, 100%. I would also say, though, if that does happen, though, I think James Cook would demand a trade because he would never score a touchdown again in his life. Josh Allen will vulture every single touchdown for the rest of mankind if he buzzes his hair. So I'm also going to put that out there. James Cook, I'm sorry. You get all your touchdowns vultured. But yeah, I will point that out with Josh Allen. Yeah, I guess those are the large candidates that watch out.
Probably.
It's scary if they buzz their hair.
What if JJ McCarthy did?
Yeah, that would be terrifying. Terrifying. If he buzzes hair, terrifying. I don't see him buzzing it, though. The first opportunity for him to buzz will be going into next year. That's a window.
Yeah, no, I can see that.
But this season, he will not. He will not.
Yeah, he doesn't need it. He doesn't need it yet.
Yeah, no. If anything, like, let's see how he is. If we need that little extra oomph, buzz it. If we don't need it, and I've been saying this for months now, Minnesota Vikings, in my eyes, is the best situation at any. Forget rookie quarterback, any quarterback could have walked into this season. And with that in mind, we might not need the buzz. If he comes in and he, like, I'm not saying he has to be CJ Stroud excellent, but if he comes in and performs like an average quarterback, if he's slightly above average at all, no buzz necessary. If he's like average to a little bit below average, I don't really think a buzz is quite needed either, because I will see improvement as time goes on. But like, if he comes in and is bad, we're going to have to buzz it at halftime. Like,
in the locker room.
We have to send a message. No, actually, who would you say is Harrison Smith? Okay. Who is
Harrison Smith?
The most Viking team captain player on the team? that's the man buzzing JJ's hair. I don't know who that is. You tell me. He gets to buzz JJ. Who is the most team captain player on the Vikings?
It's either Harrison Smith or CJ Ham.
Okay, I think Ham would actually be better. An offensive guy. JJ.
I got a little wild card here. Somebody that would have to do it, that should do it. Get the man with the longest hair to do it. TJ Hawkinson gets in there, just shave it off.
Hawk, yeah. I mean, I love the flow out of Hawk and out of my tight end.
He is the Vikings logo.
He actually is a perfect example, though, where TJ Hawk ever cut off the hair. I pray for DNs. I pray for linebackers trying to cover him. I pray for you. I pity you. I'm so sorry. If he ever buzzes it, oh God. Hawk, oh yeah.
Watch out. Then we get into the inverse market of short hair but with big beard. Then we're adding things to it, and that gets even scarier.
Yeah, the facial hair is a big aspect. And now I will say just one thing as a man who can't really grow facial hair. Shout out my Chinese genes. I don't exactly know how uncomfortable it is under like a chin strap or something, but I would always imagine.
I would always sincere that.
Like Jason Kelce, for example, with his beard, I'm like, is that uncomfortable?
It kind of gets pushed up in there and it goes out around the chin strap. Yeah. It's just so funny.
No, like literally, that's like my first thought when I see Jason Kelce with a helmet on. It's either that or him celebrating.
The more you think about it, with Travis Kelce just kind of having the top. I don't like that response.
We have to transition into Dodgers breaking news. Kyle Hurt is scheduled to undergo season-ending Tommy John surgery. Dodgers starting pitcher problems just got much worse. I didn't even realize Kyle Hurt was potentially out. Dodgers right now, okay, instant reaction. I did not think this was happening today. The Crochet trade either has to happen like right now, or we're just not going to do it. I just got a notification saying there's an extremely high chance Crochet is traded. So that either happens within the next 45 minutes, he's a Dodger, or he's not, and he's a Yankee. So we'll see.
I feel like that announcement would not come out if the Dodgers had not been probably making calls about it. Like they would not be putting him down right now. That was a bad way to put it. They would not be putting him over the rest of the season.
Yeah, put him out to pastures, Everett. Okay. But yeah, Kyle Hurts. Oh, TJ out for the year. That's not what you want to hear. Kershaw is coming back tomorrow. Glasnow should be returning to the rotation soon. River Ryan, I thought
woes get worse.
And an okay appearance, but Crochet, that deal's gonna have to be done pretty soon.
Because I know in a week. they want to try and package him with Luis Robert. I know that's kind of the deal right now. So do you think what the Dodgers can get them without getting Robert?
Well, yes. This is what I have heard. I think what the White Sox are doing, though, they want to get rid of Robert right now. He's shown a pretty solid lack of effort playing for the White Sox right now. He's making it quite obvious he wants to leave. And I think the difference in price between Crochet alone versus Crochet and Robert might not necessarily be that large. I don't necessarily think we'd have to give up much extra to get Robert. But this is the thing that I look at with Luis Robert. I'm not entirely sure how he'll fit into the lineup. He doesn't exactly have playoff experience we're looking for, and it's a long-term contract.
Well, it is a long-term deal, but I mean,
good value though, in my opinion, for what it's worth.
It's going to be a question though, whether or not, like, it's a long-term contract. Yes, right. But it's going to be a question of how much do we want to invest into this season? Because if there's an expectation and a thought that we might go far, which there tends to be, you need to make that investment. The problem is, what do you do after the fact?
Well, this is kind of why I'm more screw Luis Robert. I don't want to commit to him long term. Not a fan. Let's go for Crochet. Just get him. And then in a response to the White Sox saying, we want you to take Crochet and Luis Robert, About 5 seconds later, Brandon Gomes called up Tampa and was like, so let's talk about Randy again. What about him? So right now we're talking to the Rays for Rosarena, which I would prefer over Robert. It's a shorter contract. Rosarena has proven that he shows up in big games in the playoffs. That's a guy that I would want hitting for the Dodgers way more than Robert. But it's two separate trades. Crochet's already going to be quite expensive in terms of what prospects we have to trade away. And then for Rosarena wouldn't be as expensive as it was before the year.
My one thing that I'm thinking about more and more though is,
but I like that better.
If the Dodgers want to invest in Crochet, that makes me think that there's a very, very strong likelihood that the pitchers we really have going right now will be the pitchers going into the playoffs, which is not a very good sign for the longevity of the team. If we're entertaining trading a lot of big assets for a bigger named pitcher, my thought process is that these players that we have on IL right now are most likely not going to be back in time for the
playoffs. Yes, yeah.
Because there's a difference in investing.
The one thing with Crochet though, that's
small assets.
Well, I would also say this real quick: like, we're not going to get fleece on any trade here.
I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying
the farm is so good that like the White Sox will take our number 7 pitcher over a majority of teams' number 1 pitching prospect. Like, that's how deep we are. So we can give it up. Also, I will say the AA pitching rotation, Everett, every single one of them throws 100. Every single pitcher in AA throws 100. So we got dogs down there that we are willing to give up because keep in mind, a lot of them are like 25. Like, it's not the most enticing guy to look after, but giving up guys like that, I'm totally okay with. Cartaya, we'll see you later. I don't care at all. It is Dalton Varsho season or Dalton Rushing season. So I'm not really concerned. I think we could go after it. That's okay for me. Also, the prospects recently, we've had a couple of duds here and there. Haven't really had a big guy come up and produce in a minute compared to what Dodgers are used to.
Yeah, that's true.
No, yeah, but it's not, like we haven't seen a Bellinger or a Seager break into the team and be an everyday starter for the remainder of his contract.
Yeah, people would have thought that it would have been Outman, then Outman
Well, it was Vargas who everyone was really thinking in Lux too. The Lux injury happened. I still think if he doesn't get hurt, he would be a very good player right now. That second half of 2022, holy shit, Gavin was crazy. And Gavin's actually hitting pretty well. He just won player of the week.
I did see that.
Post All-Star break. But yeah, I'm totally okay going for Crochet. Because we have him under contract, I'm pretty down for that. Like another name that I'm pretty sure I brought up last time, Jack Flaherty, LA guy on 1 year, should be much cheaper than a Crochet. The one thing though, this is interesting to me, I want to point out. When I look at trade deadline teams, we'll look at sellers, big things to look at, contract situation of their top players, and current record, current standing. One thing that's super strange to me about the MLB this year is that the AL Central has 4 teams with 50 wins. The AL East are the 2 teams that have 4 teams of 50 wins. The AL Central is crazy good this year, but I expect the Tigers to be sellers. And I also expect the Royals to be slight sellers to a degree. I don't think it's in their best interest to not go for it. They're not going to be buyers, but I think they might buy candidates.
1 or 2 guys, but they might not do.
They don't really do maybe that. 1. But like I would say, more likely than not, they're a stay put candidate. Play out the season. If we make the playoffs, great. If we don't, it's fine. We overperformed anyway, no problem. But I think to a slight degree, by overperforming this year, which you did not expect, they have pitchers on expiring contracts who are older. Those are guys that I would look to trade, like Seth Lugo, who's just nails this year. Just, I don't know how he turned it around. That literally might be some voodoo magic going on, like how Mark Pryor used to do. So I don't know how some of these guys just turn it on suddenly, but pitchers on teams like the Royals, like I expect them to be sellers. Red Sox won't sell. Rays, sellers. Blue Jays, big sellers. But I look at the record, look at contract situation, expiring deals. Those are primetime candidates, and Crochet's quite up there. But I think Flaherty is a big time name.
No, I like that, but I think it's going to be one or the other. I don't like the Dodgers could use more pitchers, but I also don't think that they're going to be getting one big name guy and then going off after another guy. I think that it's either they get Crochet or they get Flaherty, and I don't think there's getting a both situation.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
However, they could use that depth is the other thing.
Yeah, the way I think, though, is that if they traded for Flaherty, they don't necessarily need to commit to a long-term deal or anything. Like,
no, I agree with that. Which I think with Flaherty is
we can see how the health of the starters turn out.
I like Flaherty more in the situation of the fact that it's not a long-term commitment, because to me, with everything going on right now and going into this free agency, like you still have Yamamoto. Like we've talked about this multiple times, but Shohei's coming back like for next year. Shohei will be in there. Yamamoto will be in there. Glasnow will be in there. Kershaw is probably going to be in there. Bobby will be in there. Stone will be in there. Sheehan will be in there.
No, he won't. Sheehan
will
gone.
be a reliever,
Bobby, I don't know if Bobby will ever be good again. Well, Sheehan just had Tommy John this past year. I'm not sure if he'll pitch next year. I have no idea how Bobby Miller will be. He may be dead. When he came up those past couple games in a dead ball year and he was getting rocked, that shocked me. Did not think that was going to happen out of my baby boy, but that's what Bobby is right now. And long-term Stone, oh yeah, sign me up. I can take Stone as my 5 starter long-term. Hell yeah, sign me up.
You also have May coming back and Gonzo coming back.
Gonzo's dead. Maybe, but I think he's probably dead. Like did you hear what just happened to Dustin May? His esophagus. He was eating and he had to get his esophagus surgically repaired.
I have never heard of that happening before.
Yeah, when I read it, I was like, is this a mistake? Nope. Oh, rupture or torn esophagus. I forgot.
I don't know what is
something with his esophagus. I have no idea what happened, but yeah, the one thing I'd say about the pitchers long term is that in theory, best case scenario, come back and healthy. Like we don't need more starters.
That's what
the issue
I'm saying,
is.
yes.
That's kind of what I've been doing for the past couple of years, and from what I've seen from this season, there is no guarantee that any of them will be good moving forward in the future. Absolutely zero guarantee in any of that. So with that in mind, it's Crochet I am more interested in than I was a few weeks ago, knowing, hey,
no, you've always been a bit more of a Crochet guy than me.
There's a chance that there's not many opportunities you can have a top 3 lefty starter in baseball just come to you. There's not many opportunities you have in that, and it is right there. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, but ultimately I expect trades to happen. I think with the current situation of the standings, we're going to be buying.
No, I would be very surprised if there are not many moves this trade deadline, and if there also aren't like any big moves this deadline. Like I would consider Flaherty as a big move. I would consider Crochet a big move, or Luis Robert is a big move. Well, I'm more so saying like we're not doing a Trace Thompson for cash considerations kind of move like that. I don't.
Yeah, I would say
that's
biggest trade that could go down. I don't think will likely, but could go down is Vladdy to the Dodgers. Blue Jays have just moved Vladdy over, playing third. When he came in as a rookie, he was playing third base, was awful at it. Moved him over to first or DHing, and just out of nowhere is when some rumors going around the Blue Jays were interested in selling Vladdy. They moved him over to third. I can think of one team who has a third baseman problem and their name rhymes with the Rogers. So maybe we get Vladdy. If that were to happen, that could be interesting. That could be terrifying.
I do not know how much
we'll see.
More years are on his contract though.
Expiring. It would be cheaper to get. And we wouldn't re-sign him long term. It'd be
we wouldn't be able to, but
like just more like Manny Machado.
I don't know if this year is a year where I would want the Dodgers to go and get like a Vladdy, because with the pitching situation we've got going on, it really doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I like if they want to go scorched earth and cop Flaherty and Vladdy, sign me up.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Crochet and Vladdy, I don't think that's possible to do. Maybe. I don't think it is.
They find a way money-wise all the time, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, that's
but I wouldn't recommend it.
The money's not what I'm
asset.
They can afford anyone. Yeah, so they have to give up. But maybe. I don't think Vladdy will get traded though. I think most likely he plays out this half season in Toronto and then free agent signs somewhere.
Probably. I think either way, no matter even if he gets traded, he's probably going to be a free agent. So
yeah, I'd say I don't see him necessarily.
Okay, so you were talking about earlier how we the top players, top 100 in the NFL. I have not seen any of this, so I would like to hear, like have you go through it for me. I'm gonna kind of just react here. I haven't seen any of this. The only thing that I saw was Aaron Rodgers 92, which by the way is crazy for a dude that took 3 snaps.
Okay, we have the top 100 players voted on by the players themselves.
Keywords there, keywords.
Yeah, important
because if it was us voting on it, apparently people would think that we're batshit crazy. So need to clarify.
Right, starting off at number 100, we got Zaire Franklin of the Indianapolis Colts. Number 99, Levante David. All right, little linebacker. Okay, defense.
Yeah, maybe we just highlight.
Cam Hayward 98. Terry 97. Okay, yeah, I don't care about these.
Let's just highlight.
Trevor Lawrence 94. Trevor Lawrence 94. Harrison Smith 93. You could talk about that. Trevor Lawrence 94. I think that one is quite interesting to me. Trevor Lawrence, I will say,
former Trevor Lawrence.
I will say one thing about Trevor Lawrence that I think he's very bound to improve. No quarterback got screwed over more by dropped passes and expected points. Actual points over expected added. No one suffered more from drop passes in that category than Trevor Lawrence. If his wide receivers weren't playing like how they did, he would have looked better. So, a little bit of a regression to the mean here. I expect Trevor Lawrence to improve in the drop passes, bad luck category. Expect less drop passes next year. But still, regardless, with Trevor Lawrence, as an Ohio State fan, looking at this now, all I heard throughout like 4 years at Clemson, actually, let's take it before that, his high school year, and that 24/7 YouTube, or not 24/7, Elite 11 YouTube, leading into his Clemson career, and then the entire draft process. All I've heard was that he's the second coming of Peyton Manning, blonde Jesus, and the greatest quarterback prospect of all time. I have not seen that yet in Jacksonville.
No,
I have not seen that. Does he have the tools and everything to do it? Yes, of course, but I just need to see a little step up from him and just being the second coming of Peyton Manning.
What is interesting to me, like if I was Trevor Lawrence, I know the Jaguars are obviously getting better something, but like I don't know if he will ever be able to reach that status in the NFL in his career if he's in Jacksonville. Like I legitimately think Jacksonville is the limiting factor there. I think that that's also the problem with him just signing this extension. I understand it. I know more players now like are signing extensions early. They're going for their money, right? Like there's very minimal amount of quarterbacks that hit the market now that are, actually starting caliber quarterbacks. But for Trevor Lawrence's career, like I think that he would have needed to go to free agency. I think that like he will never be able to get to that point with the Jaguars, and I frankly don't think that they're ever going to be. They might not ever be Super Bowl contenders in his career. They might not.
Yeah, I would lean more likely not than yes.
So I don't see, like with Andrew Luck, right? Let's think about the end, because that's kind of one of the other comparisons that we were having.
Yeah, it also really doesn't help having Stroud and AR-15 walk into the division with you. That's also not very helpful.
But like let's compare him to Andrew Luck right now, because that was another comparison that he got, right? Andrew Luck was one of the consensus,
Andrew Luck was the first second coming of Peyton
second coming of Peyton Manning,
and quite literally was by replacing him on the Colts.
The difference between Andrew Luck though and Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars is Andrew Luck walked into a situation where there was a horrible offensive line, but they were still able to build around him. And as a natural quarterback,
he went 11-5 his first 3 seasons.
Yeah, as a natural quarterback, he was able to do things that and improve things that Trevor Lawrence hasn't. And Trevor Lawrence walked into a situation with a shittier team, with probably a better O-line in total, but like worse receivers, worse running back, all these different things, and it worse defense by a mile. And it makes things difficult for a quarterback to be able to improve when like the nearest comparison to you, while the Jaguars are making like moves, right, to get better, it's not nearly enough. Like there's something wrong in Jacksonville.
Yeah, we're now in that era of the NFL where I think we have GM paranoia over the quarterback position and knowing what could happen if you don't have a guy there. And so I don't expect Tua to get a max, but like, if not the Dolphins, somebody will give Tua a lot of money just to have that quarterback in place.
So I don't know who it will be,
but
I was thinking about this real
quarterback quick. Teams are so desperate to have a guy back there that Tua is getting $100 million plus, whatever the hell the price.
I'm just like, that's also the problem that makes it so difficult for the teams. You don't see teams treating quarterbacks like that. Like we used to maybe have here or there some big name quarterback get traded. It's been rare in general, but
yeah, no, it doesn't really happen.
It doesn't happen anymore because the team's like, oh well, like we need the guy, but you're going to be spending money. Like for reference, let's look at the Chargers right now, right? They are spending almost the most money on a quarterback in the NFL to have Justin Herbert there right now. And they're in a complete rebuild. Like that's one of those, my point being like in a situation like that, I don't know where
you're going with this.
Well, in a situation like that, when you're spending so much money on the quarterback, but the rest of your team's not ready, I don't think your team will ever get to the point where they're going to be ready because you're not going to have the money to build around and put in that situation. So that's
I would say
interesting dynamic.
It's possible to do. I mean, the easy answer though is you find a rookie quarterback who's cheap and you can splash it. Like that's of course great if you can pull that off and do that. But like, everyone, you have that window for your 4 or 5 years. And then it's like, do you want to recycle it and then pray you hit on the next rookie quarterback to restart the cycle? Or I think GMs are now in the period where it's like CJ Stroud, for example, there's no way CJ Stroud's a Texan for life. Whatever, blank check, CJ, whatever the fuck you want, dog, take it because that's how important he is to the franchise. They'll pay whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. He gets it.
I mean,
I just think we're in GM paranoia where they're not willing to take that risk.
The biggest example,
if you have your guy,
biggest example of that, the Browns with Deshaun Watson.
They were so desperate to get Actually, that's the perfect example. They were so desperate to get that guy that they gave him the only fully guaranteed contract in NFL history, which will never happen again, because we've seen how that has played out. But that's actually the best example. Deshaun Watson to the Browns is the best example of GM paranoia over the quarterback position.
Now, I'm not saying by any means don't extend a quarterback if they're good. Like don't, you have to trade the quarterback because you need to.
If Houston did not re-sign CJ Stroud, that will set their franchise back.
But I'm saying like I'm not saying you need to trade a quarterback, right? Like if your team's not good, you have to trade your quarterback. You're paying $500 million for it, whatever. I am saying though, for the quarterback's interest, especially if you're getting the end of your contract, you might not want to decide to resign.
Dolphins too is the best example where it's like we've heard the chatter, like Sure, Tua has led the league in all these passing stats the past couple years, but he has the best wide receiver duo you could possibly ask for right now with their speed. So the Dolphins, it's hearing that their side, they understand the weapons they have and how that improves Tua, helps them out. They understand their run scheme and how that opens up shit for Tua to look better. And it seems like the Dolphins understand who their quarterback really is. And like, I can't even think of an example. Like, there are many quarterbacks in the NFL that could do what Tua is doing.
Yes, is what I'm trying to say. I agree.
And Miami is aware of that, and they will only give Tua a contract according to that.
Let's think about it this way.
I'm not ruling out Tua doesn't. Do you think he could resign, but it won't be for a max?
Thinking about what this next quarterback class is, do you think that the Dolphins would voluntarily not sign Tua because they think that somebody in this next class can do the same thing?
Maybe, but if I were to think like Dolphins, let's say they want to draft a quarterback next year, I expect them to be a pretty damn good football team making the play. I expect them to be pretty solid, and I have no idea how the Dolphins really are. I don't know if they're a big trader upper, but I think they have to trade up quite a bit to get one of the better quarterbacks next season. I don't know. I'm assuming they're going to do well and make.
I'm trying to think who the number one quarterback would be next year.
I don't know.
Quinn and Ewers, I guess.
Quinn. I
maybe Shador.
In theory, it could be Quinn, but I don't know. Quinn, I'm not sure if he will be the number one quarterback next year.
We'll find out. We'll find out. But that's what we're working with, is the thought process. So
yeah, and also just with those names in general, not quite inspiring. Hey,
Shador Sanders.
We see QB paranoia at its finest this upcoming offseason.
And we saw it with the Falcons. So
Derek Carr may get another $100 million somewhere next offseason because that's how desperate some teams are.
I don't think Derek Carr is a better option than Tua. So
no, I wasn't necessarily saying Dolphins, but just hey, like QB paranoia could ramp up.
It is
this upcoming draft
very
class.
I saw a clip the other day too. By the way, it was a Pardon My Take interview with Derek Carr. And Derek Carr said
it was fun.
Derek Carr was like, yeah, there was like a time. I love Robert Saleh. I love Saleh. And that offseason when they got Aaron Rodgers, I went and did an interview with them to like sign there. And they were like, yeah, dude, we want you. Like, we'll have the paper right here. As the Jets starting. This was before they traded for
Rodgers. Oh, okay.
And he was like, yeah, we didn't know what was going on with Aaron Rodgers at the time. And I felt like I had to go and do stuff with these other teams just because that's the way I do business. Like, could you imagine if Derek Carr was the starting quarterback for the Jets right now?
I kind of forgot Aaron got traded to the Jets, correct?
He did get traded because that was his option. He was like, I'm either retiring or you're trading me.
Or I'm running for VP, which I guess is also retiring. But yeah, Hey, Pardon My Take just had Aaron Rodgers on.
They did,
and that's always entertaining watching Big Cat Bears fan talk to Aaron Rodgers. But it was kind of funny because Big Cat was saying like, yeah, Aaron, my problems aren't with you anymore. There's a new
you
Batman
still torment me in my dreams, but those are.
But Big Cat was saying like, I am your biggest cheerleader right now to win a Super Bowl for the Jets, so I can just say like, oh yeah, Aaron Rodgers, Jets quarterback, and just erase all Packers years away from his memory. But he was joking with Aaron like, if you won 2 Super Bowls with the Jets, you'd have to retire as a Jet, right? And Aaron was like, well, of course, if I won 2,
obviously I have to.
I mean, that might break Packers fans' heart, like harder than anything I could think of today, right now. That would destroy
like they don't really want to accept Brett Favre anymore, I don't think. So, which is understandable. Greg Jennings was also a Viking for a little bit, so I don't know if they really want to take him. Like, I don't really know. Maybe Clay Matthews. Like, is Clay Matthews their guy right now? Yeah, he's a Packer. So
he's ultimate Packer. Now, where did he play in Cleveland after? I know he had another L.A. Rams.
He was on the Rams.
A little stint somewhere else. A teeny
you want to talk about a trivia
else.
Fact? Yeah, Clay Matthews on the Rams.
Yeah, it'd be like this. Clay Matthews
played for which 2
ended
teams?
his NFL career for which NFC West team? And then you'd be like
NFC West.
Yeah, you're like, what the hell?
That's
Seattle?
like the same question
did he make it to Seattle?
That's like the same question with where did Richard Sherman end his career? You're like, What?
Tampa.
And you're like, I literally would have thought it was for the 49ers afterwards. Yeah. You're like, oh, wait a second. Which 3 teams did Richard Sherman play for?
Yeah.
One of those you're not getting.
Yeah, that's one of the questions we'll be getting at. But oh damn, yeah, back to the top 100 list there. Yeah, but we got T-Law, Harrison Smith, and Aaron all in a row at the low 90s. Kind of the next little slot. Sorry, little slow.
No, you're good.
Smitty at 90. Interesting.
I mean, Saquon I would say that's 86. probably about accurate placement for both of them.
DK at 84. Okay, they're giving DK some love here.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe a little bit back. How do you feel about that?
You know what? In Minter we trust. That's
not a very high praise for Derwin, but okay.
Yeah, Derwin, it's interesting. Like, Derwin's not the same Derwin that he used to be. So,
yeah, bring back FSU Derwin. That's what we want to see.
Montez Sweat at 82. Oh my God, he had 72 quarterback pressures last year. God, and then Kirk at 81. Kirk ahead of Montez.
Hey, we'll take that. We'll take that. I mean, for him only playing half a season, like that's pretty good. Although they did put Aaron Rodgers, who played 3 snaps at 92, so I don't really know.
Yeah, you know, I feel like they just compile every single ranking the players give out and then just like weight them and average them or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But moving on through 80 to 71, at number 80 is Sam Laporta. Okay, I've not seen TJ Hawkinson yet, but TJ Hawkinson is not in the top, or he's not from 100 to 70. So the bottom
is not in the bottom third. Has it only been 100 to 70 released? Like, what are we up to right now? It's only 170.
Up to 70. Okay. If I were to assume Hawk is 69,
I'm gonna put it like I'm gonna say higher. Like I think he's gonna be like 48.
Yeah, that's
gonna be my guess right now.
Laporta at 80, Kyren Williams at 78, which I think is fair.
Kyren Williams at 75.
Just after last season, he was ridiculous.
Yeah, hey, that's
ridiculous.
Fair. That's fair.
Herbert at 75.
Okay.
Garrett at 72 and Laramie Tunsil at 71.
Now, if we were grading Laramie Tunsil off his performances I have in Madden, he's not a top 100 player, period. but I'll take a 71.
Yeah, I'll say slightly looking at.
I might suggest putting. I'm a Herbert truther. I would kind of maybe put him above. I would put him above Garrett at least. But you know what? I'll
at minimum, yeah. Like, you know, Herbert, I would say one of those guys where you got to remember his coach was an aardvark. Brandon Staley was
this one way to call him
the equivalent of an armadillo out there, would just curl up into his little ball and just hide. Okay, that's what Staley would do with Justin Herbert. I'm
going to be honest. The better way to put it would have been a turtle going back in the shell, because it kind of does resemble
definitely
a
much better example. But let's go with the armadillo. That's
he reminds me of Arnold the Turtle from the TV show from like the early 2000s.
Yes, I actually know exactly what you're talking about right now.
That is what he reminds me of.
Yeah, Justin Herbert. You know, he gets a lot of hate. He gets a lot of flack
from our comment section. Yes.
And, you know, the Chargers, this is why I could say, as an organization, as a fan of this franchise, I totally get it. We're a joke. Absolute bums. You don't need to remind me. I wake up every morning, and that's what I realize over and over again. Every morning when I wake up, we're bad. Never think you're going to win anything in your life, because you won't. You're a Charger fan. That's what I remind myself every morning. But if there's one bright spot in this franchise, it is Justin Herbert. And that man I will defend for the rest of my life. I don't want to know what Herbert would do playing for the Miami Dolphins. I don't want to know. I don't want to know what the average yards per reception would be for Tyreek and Waddle with Herbert.
No, he might be
70-yard bullet passes.
He might be a perennial MVP candidate.
Like it would not be fair. if you gave him those two.
Can you imagine what Dolphin fans are saying right now when they think about that? So, I mean, you have the Tua non, obviously, but obviously before then, they were like, a lot of people like Tua better than Herbert in the draft.
Well, it was a while ago that I saw this, but I remember seeing a pretty big Dolphins Twitter fan account just finally being like, yeah, I'm sick of this. It's hilarious seeing Dolphins fans trying to say Tua is better than Herbert. It's just wrong. Tua's not even comparable to Justin Herbert in terms of what they can do physically as a human being, throwing a football or running, whatever. Just pure physical attributes. We're not looking at stats. We're not looking at numbers, just pure what can you do with a football? How well do you spin it? And there were many Dolphins fans in his replies being like, are you telling me you think the Dolphins would be better with Herbert at quarterback than Tua? And this guy just replies,
yes,
we'd end the league. The Dolphins offense with Herbert would be the second coming of the greatest show on turf. It would, like, Dan Marino may be back in Miami if that were to happen. It would not be okay. It would not be fair. And with their run game with a chain and Mostert, oh no, would not be okay if Herbert was there. And so I know there are, it's a very small percentage, but there's at least 10% of Miami Dolphins fans out there who understand the truth. And if Herbert ever had a weapon that could make it through 6 games of the season, we could see things.
Hey, maybe he will. That this hasn't year. Maybe yet. He will.
Maybe. No, it won't happen. So, that's a next year cycle. If we can get Luther Burden and get another top 5 pick, yeah, let's do it. But I don't.
Only a man can only dream.
And screw it. We're on the topic of the Chargers. I will just say one thing. I'm having some slight concerns about. I was seeing some Notre Dame fans actually talk about Joe Alt and how he was. And Joe Alt at Notre Dame spent some time at guard, spent a little bit at right tackle, but left tackle was Joe Alt's primary position. Looked great at left tackle. That is his natural position. That's what he does. At guard, he looked pretty good. I mean, he's destroying ACC D linemen. Looked very good. But whenever Joseph Alt played right tackle, that's the one time in his Notre Dame career where he didn't look great. And, Harbaugh we trust. I'm an O-line guy myself. If there's anyone that I trust to develop Joel as a right tackle, be able to deal with bull rush type moves, more power rushing than the speed rusher, fast guys at left tackle, then I would say it is Harbaugh and his staff. But I will say this first year, I don't expect it to be very inspiring from Joe Alt.
So how many sacks?
Him to get manhandled a couple times by the power rushers coming off the right side. So
at least, never mind. I was going to say, the Raiders D-line alone might end him. So that it might end Justin Herbert. So, I mean,
Max Crosby is going to have some fun week 1 because Max Crosby, I'm pretty sure they're lining up strong side now. He's going to have some fun with Joe Alt.
I didn't even realize it, but the Vikings have to go up against Thibodeau and Brian Burns week 1. And
Thibodeau is not too concerning.
And it was Dexter Lawrence up there still. So
problem. Circle him as a problem. Watch out.
And Brian
Circle
Burns,
him.
Not an ideal situation.
Yeah, Dexter Lawrence. I still have nightmares of him from Clemson.
For JJ McCarthy's sake, he should not be playing week 1.
Yeah, no. Bad idea. Well, it wouldn't be very smart on their end. But yeah, no, Herbert definitely deserves more credit. Garrett, I'm not sure if I'd say he's the 72nd best player in the NFL. I'd say that might be boosting him up a little bit. I love Garrett. Don't get me wrong.
Still think he's better than DK though, so that's kind of accurate.
Yeah, but yeah, you know what? In theory, actually, I guess it kind of makes perfect sense to
both
to
being
a slight
better
degree.
than Smitty adds up. So
yeah, I would say, maybe some predictions in this next slot. Like what do you think will be the next quarterback after Herbert? How about that? Now Kirk's off the board. Rodgers off the board.
Tilo off the board.
Tilo off the board. Who do we think they'll go with next?
See, that's such
and remember though, Everett, remember Jamar Chase. They had a clip of him, and they're like, "Who's the number one player?" And he said, "I'm not saying his name. We know who he's talking about." Yeah, and he's just like and he said like, "Yeah, I mean,
you know what? Like, you know who I think it's gonna be?
I'm putting Burrow one." He said that.
You know who I think it's gonna be? Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield's gonna be the next quarterback.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna be the next quarterback.
Yeah. Actually, this could be a fun little thing. Where do we think Stroud will go? I think definitely top 50, 100%, but where? Because I think players really respect rookies, and they'll put you up there. But I think 100% top 50 lock.
I think dead 20th.
I could see some around there.
I was gonna be like, I think that it's not impossible for him to be in the top 10. It's not likely.
Yeah, it's
rather unlikely, but it is not impossible.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say between 20 and 30, but I think it might be 20 on the dot.
Yeah, I would say though that he is a lock top 50. We'll see.
I would say the furthest back that I could see him being is like 31.
I was gonna say like mid to low 30s.
Yeah, like
I feel 38. Like that sounds like a linebacker to me.
That sounds like too far.
That's what that.
Yeah, no,
that sounds like a
it's
guard.
Gotta be like
at
specific
38
numbers in there. 36. That sounds like a tight end to me. So 33 to 31.
It could be. 36. That could also be an edge.
Could be a corner.
Ooh, actually, I like that way better. Or maybe that's the safety.
Or
that 30. Okay.
No, it might be a very big wild card, Grant. 34 is Justin Tucker. So I mean,
I'm not sure if there's ever been a kicker in here.
Justin Tucker, give my man some respect.
Has he been NFL top 100?
I don't know. I don't know if there ever has been a kicker. You might be right on that, but I feel like if there was a time to do it,
I'm looking at Justin Tucker NFL top. He made it 2022, number 94. He's the only kicker to ever make it.
So 34 might be a little.
They've also only been doing this top 100 for like.
It's been like 10 years ish. Like Mike Pouncey was like, not Mike Pouncey. What was the fat ass defensive lineman for the Packers name? Mike
BJ Raji?
No. Mike, he's in like all of the.
Oh, I know the face.
Yeah,
yes. I'm behind this.
What is his name? It's Mike something. Mike something.
Mike Daniels.
Thank you.
Mike Daniels.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah, I don't think he's in the league anymore, but I remember that guy.
No. Last year, 2021 in Cincy, Super Bowl year.
He was in Cincy?
Yeah, I guess he was on that Super Bowl team.
I don't know if he ever played, but who would have thought?
3 total games that season, with one of them occurring in the playoffs. So you can't say he didn't contribute to that playoff.
Yeah, good for him. Good for him.
So Mike Daniels knew the face right away when you said that. Didn't know the name.
No,
knew the face though immediately.
Exactly.
So I looked up Mike Packers D lineman and I searched by Google Images by face. That's how I found it.
I mean, that's exactly what I would do. I'm going to be honest.
That's how you do it. I got one last little tiny thing on the NFL that I saw, and I think this should be implemented across the country for all in-stadium, in-event security guards. But Ever, I'm not sure if you saw this. The Cleveland Browns are having their security team practice.
I have seen that. They
are practicing their field stormers. They're practicing tackling them, working on technique, working on footwork, working on how to surround the criminal
individual
on field.
Now this is what I will
and
say.
they're learning how to subdue.
I have seen other teams do this before, but
I'll be honest, I've never seen a practice footage of it. I've never seen it.
I've seen it before, but realistically, what they should do is, obviously that was kind of like a live drill with a real person, right? Screw that. Yeah. I want them at practice with the D linemen, and you've got those giant like standing pad things that the D linemen come and tackle. That's what I want them just straight through shoulder. We wrap and we roll. We wrap and we roll.
So you know that like robot
The one that
dummy
raced,
that can just
Matt
go all around.
Matt Rule.
That's what we got to use. We got to use that. Okay, you don't know. You have no idea how shifty these fans are. You have no idea how quick they are. I want to see
like a comedy movie style dude just charging straight through, like off screen, and just jumps through side screen.
You know what they say, Everett? If you make practice as hard as it can, then practices will be harder than the games, and the games will be easier than practice. So let's make the tackle dummies as hard as we can, so we can ensure that our men defending the fields have seen it all.
Hey, and
we need to ensure they've seen it all.
We're not.
That is true, and women. But I mean, I would say when it comes to those tackle dummies, I also would say this real quick.
But like, I want the D-line coach coaching them though to do it.
But the likelihood of one of those security guards just being like in his mid to late 60s, extremely overweight, and clearly hasn't ran in years is so likely that I kind of want them to stop practicing so we can get more moments seeing those guys die.
That's very true. But for every 10 of those guys, you have one former college linebacker that has waited his entire life to spear somebody on an NFL field.
Yeah, like you get a free shot, like it's like you're on kickoff.
There is nothing, like you can't be sued. Nothing. It is fully, you get full reign on how hard you're about to contact this dude.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential there for what could happen, but it's nice to see Cleveland. They're implementing steps to improve the franchise.
They are.
And I can tip the cap to that.
I will say this though: if I ever see a college football security set do these drills, I'm going to be it's a disgrace. College football is one of the only things where there should be storming allowed. Like, I do not want to see people attempting to tackle me. Like, that's
I'm
part
talking
of the game.
Like third quarter.
That's different.
Some dude just runs.
That's different.
Not like end of the game. Not that. No.
That's different. We have had that happen before.
Like
one of our players actually tackled the dude, which was funny.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was in pad and just got right in there.
I'll be honest. If I saw someone spring out of the field, I'm not moving a muscle.
That's what you would think. But some of these guys are just like so dialed in that they're.
Oh yeah, actually, I'm thinking of a scenario where it could, maybe you just gave up a first down you shouldn't have. You're a little pissed off.
Yeah,
I might lay that guy out. If you're on the sideline, you can't run on the field. You can't.
If I'm out on the field already and this dude's near me and I'm dialed in or just gave up like a 3rd and 10. That dude is getting absolutely punished.
Yeah, if I just gave up 3rd and long and I was the DB, it was on my head. Yeah, I'm laying that guy out like I'm Brian Bosworth. That's what would happen. But just overall, though, not too much crazy stuff going on right
now. No, too much. Well, last thing, unrelated to the NFL, and we'll wrap up after this, but the Olympics do officially start this week. So next episode, we'll probably have some Olympic review to do. It'll be our first Olympics. It will be our first Olympics as a podcast. So besides the winter, but
Olympic. I'm trying to see like an Olympic schedule or something going on. It
swimming is Saturday, I think.
Oh wait,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I could be wrong in this, but Everett, I think the Olympics started today.
They do like some stuff before, but then the actual walking ceremonies on Friday, and then
I see.
The one thing that did start today,
sevens, that doesn't.
The thing that did start today though was soccer. Argentina and I think Spain or Madrid or somebody played.
And I'm seeing we're about to play. We're playing France right now.
But no, so earlier Argentina and like Madrid or somebody played. Maybe it was Spain, I don't know, but they played. 2 hours, they had people storm the field. 2 hours after the game was over, VAR ruled a goal offside, so they come back and finish the last 3 minutes of the game.
There's
not a great start. Not a great start. But,
there's some issues going. Quick. Oh, okay. If there's one thing that everybody needs to lock in for, we have men's. Oh, no, never mind. I thought it was that cool shooting event. Not quite. Yeah, I don't know when there will be an entertaining Olympic event on, but when that happens, we'll let you know.
I will say, if there's one thing that I will only ever watch for the Olympics, it is swimming. As long as the United States,
only thing.
No. I'm saying if there's one thing I only watch, like I don't watch it any other time besides the Olympics.
Got it.
It is swimming. For whatever Olympic swimming to me is it's like horse racing. It's like, yo, we're like about to coming down the stretch. You're coming down the stretch.
What is your favorite stroke to watch?
It's a really weird question to ask.
Breaststroke.
I'm a big butterfly. I watching the butterflies kind of sick.
Yeah, I would say that's a swimming technique that I never quite mastered myself.
No, I was not there. They should do Olympic doggy paddling though. Like that would be pretty sick to watch. That's up there. So might have just lost Grant. I don't really know, but with that,
I like Olympics. Yeah.
I think this is a good place to wrap up. So
your camera's now working.
Yeah, so
no longer frozen.
With that, thank you guys so much for watching, listening. Rate us 5 stars. You can find us on Spotify, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and on Instagram at WaterboyPod. You can follow me and Grant on Twitter at Every6 and at WaterboyGrant. We post new episodes every Tuesday and Thursday on YouTube and all podcast platforms. So make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications so you don't miss a single episode. We also post on TikTok and Instagram every week, so make sure to check us out there for exclusive content. And we do also live stream on YouTube and on TikTok, so make sure you check us out there as well. But with that, see you guys in the next episode. Waterboys out.